Okay, so this is a smart notebook lesson that introduces adjectives to third graders. So we'll go on to the first slide. And the first slide basically are buttons that you can push, and what it's going to do is it's going to say the adjective, then it will put the adjective into a sentence, and then once again it will say the adjective. So let's try clicking on the skunk here.
Smelly. Did you see the smelly skunk? Smelly.
Basically what that does, it allows the student to be able to hear the adjective and then hear how it can be put into a sentence, and then we'll be reminded once again what the adjective is. Let's try another one. Let's try the turtle here.
Slow. The slow turtle is in my backyard. Slow.
And depending on your students and if they want to have a lot of examples, you can click on as many buttons or as many of the pictures as you want, or more importantly, as your students need. Alright, we'll go to the third slide. This slide kind of does the same thing. You either can click on either one of the two pictures and it will once again tell you what the adjective is, and then it will put in a sentence, and then it will say the adjective once again. So let's click on this.
American. He is an American soldier. American.
And once again, depending on your students, if you really think that you need to use a slide, then go ahead and go for it. And if not, then you can skip it. You can scroll down to the next slide, slide 4. Alright, here the instructions say, read each sentence below. When you find an adjective, touch it. Then erase below the noun that the adjective modifies. A red line will appear below the noun if you're correct. So what the students are going to do here is they're going to come up, they're going to touch whatever they think the adjective is in each sentence. There's a couple sentences here. And then what they're going to do is they're going to erase the noun that the adjective is modifying. So for this first sentence, it says the green frog was resting on a rock. So what they're going to do is they're going to touch whatever they think is the adjective, which would be green. So they touch this, and then what they would do is they would erase what noun the adjective is modifying. And so the noun in this sentence would be frog, and so they would erase this. Once they finish and complete all the sentences, then you can move down to slide 5. Okay, what they're going to do here is they're going to drag over the adjective that they believe modifies the noun. So let's say clownfish. They would then choose which one they believe an adjective would be for clownfish. Either they would choose one of these, and hopefully they'll choose stripe, and they will drag it over and put it to clownfish, and they would see that the adjective is modifying clownfish because the fish is striped. They choose another one. Let's say they choose shark. Shark is back here if you can see it. And then I'll look over here and see what is describing the noun. And so they would probably choose huge if they are choosing the correct adjective, since the shark is really big. Then we go to the next slide. Alright. If this happens, then what you can possibly do is write a actual story. But basically what this slide is allowing the students to do is to see an entire story together, and then they'll be able to look for the adjectives and see how the adjectives are modifying the noun. The picture also really helps. See how the dogs here, there's a big dog and there's smaller dogs. It helps a lot to allow the students to actually see what the story is talking about. So if this does happen, then it might be best to be able to create your own story just in case. Alright, this slide, what you're going to do is, what the direction says is, below you will read several words. You must identify which words are adjectives and which words are nouns. Drag each word to the appropriate column. When you're done, touch the check button to correct your word. So what's going to happen here is you're going to take the words that it gives you, and you're going to drag it to either adjectives or to the nouns, depending on which goes where. Let's say if you have the word blue, then the child is going to have to drag that word down to the adjectives box. If it's correct, then there will be a check button that they can push, and if it's correct, then it will tell them that it's correct. If it's wrong, then they'll tell it's wrong. If it's noun, let's say it was bird, then they would drag it down here, and they would have to do the same exact thing. And that is, in a way, a great way to assess them, to make sure they understand the difference between adjectives and nouns, knowing which one is what. And that's it.